We all think that getting what we want in the future will make us happy, right? But if we're not grateful for the things we have now, what makes us think we're going to be grateful or happy for anything we get in the future?
Welcome to the FocalFlip podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the FocalFlip podcast. It's me, Mike, your host. Familiar face. He was the main part of the show for Psychology of the Soul, The Power of Perspective, Withdrawals in the Chase, The Origin of Thought. What else is in there?
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few. John McNeely, welcome back, buddy.
My pleasure, as always.
Love it. I like this jacket. I've been telling you all day. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm not. Color's not my thing, but you know.
Yeah, he's got an Indian motorcycle jacket on because if you've seen some of the thumbnails, man, he's got a sweet Indian bike. So you're gonna get a winter season here. So you're gonna put that sucker up.
I'll
or you're
still
gonna keep
ride it.
Yeah.
If it's sunny and 40, I'm riding.
What is it? So are you one of those big wind therapy guys that you found just a lot of peace in that, or what brought you into like riding?
That's a good question. I can tell you, riding a motorcycle is an entirely different experience. You become one with the machine, and just any troubles in your mind are completely stripped away because you're forced to be in the moment.
Oh,
it's actually a pretty powerful thing. It can be a spiritual experience depending on your perspectives.
Yeah, sure. Have you always rode, or has that just been something in sobriety that you've done? Or
no, I think I've probably been riding for 20 plus years. 20 plus years, 20, 25 years. And
can you say that the last 7 years have been much better riding? Has your experience riding been better?
Well, that's a good point, because not only with riding, but I've noticed with any experience, we experience our inner world. So if I put to mind before I go on a ride gratitude of being able to go for a ride, the experience of all the beauty around me, the wind in my hair, the sun in my face. And when I bring those things into my conscious perspectives, I experience them more powerfully. Mm-hmm. And it's with any experience, really, whether it's riding a bike or walking down a wooded path. We create our own experiences based on our own attitudes, outlooks, and perspectives towards that which we experience.
So then, yes.
Yes, is a long-winded yes.
I know that's what's cool. When I joined AA, I noticed that there were a lot of guys that rode motorcycles. Yeah. And it's just interesting because the more that I was in recovery or in AA and would listen to people share and then follow them on Facebook and stuff, and you would see like how many different men and women truly utilize that wind therapy. That's what you guys call it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was always fascinating. And then it'd be neat to get a perspective of what is that like now that you're sober and you have self-discovered you and you found you.
It's more powerful.
Like that experience has to be somewhat different than what it was in the previous 14 years.
All experiences are more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, because you found yourself.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, it's just...
There's a joke among motorcycle riders that you never see a motorcycle parked in a psychologist's parking lot.
Okay. Explain that one.
Well, just riding a motorcycle in many ways is a type of psychology, a type of therapy. It puts you in the moment because you're forced to be in the moment. All the guilt and shame of the past is wiped clean from the mind. Any fear of the future is wiped clean from the mind. And you're just forced to be in the moment and experience the motorcycle and the road. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Can you get that same effect riding a bicycle?
I'm at the point where I get that same effect doing anything. It's just whether or not you're conscious of your internal world as you're experiencing the external world. You know, because we create our own experiences, whether they're wondrous or miserable. You know.
Yeah. No.
It can being self-aware can intensify every experience.
Yeah.
If you're aware of the experience and yourself.
For sure. Yeah, awareness. Come on up.
Yeah.
I drill it home. So with that, is it safe to say that you find happiness when you're riding your motorcycle?
I don't think happiness is something you can find.
Okay.
I think.
Tell me what you think it is.
You know, I think this is really the common problem, is that people are always seeking happiness, right? You know, it's in the Declaration of Independence that it's our God-given right for the pursuit of happiness, right? So as people are seeking their happiness, they're basing it on obtaining their own expectations and desires. Mm-hmm. I'll be happy if I can get this. If I could only make this happen, I'll be happy. But that's not where happiness comes from. Happiness cannot be bought. It can't be found by fulfilling your own expectations. Those are just temporary things. Happiness is a state of mind. You know, if I'm not happy with the world as it is, what makes me think I'll be happy if I can get something else? You know, it's just the pursuit of happiness is probably one of man's greatest follies.
Yeah. I struggled.
Yeah.
When I was in the midst of my struggles, I guess my common themes were, what's wrong with me? Why am I not happy? How can I be happy? You know?
And it's funny because
I found happiness whenever I would, you know, drink a substance or drink alcohol or take some substances or something, and I would feel happy, like it filled that gap.
Yeah. How can I be happy when all I do is focus on the things that I don't like or I don't, you know? It's no wonder why I can't be happy.
Yeah.
When I'm always complaining about things I don't like. You know?
Yeah,
and then wonder why I can't be happy.
Yeah.
You know?
So then, is happiness the same thing as joy in your mind? I think those two are different. Don't know how to describe that necessarily yet, but what do you think?
Well, again, you know, to your point, most of us think that happiness is getting what we want, right? But again, happiness is a state of mind. It's a state of gratitude for everything in life. You know, what happiness really is a state of well-being, contentment, peace, gratitude, fulfillment.
Yeah.
See, that's what happiness means to me today. And that's not something you can obtain. It's something that you develop a state of mind for.
So then how can people do that? You know, I mean, that's our big question, you know. And we'll get into that as we talk more, but like that's where
the answer's not where you'd expect it.
Okay, elaborate.
The answer to finding your inner peace and happiness and state of well-being comes from understanding your darkness. And we've touched on that. But that's what it all comes back to, you know. Why am I angry? Why am I sad? Why am I wallowing in self-pity? Why am I not satisfied? Why am I not fulfilled? And until you can answer those questions, obviously you'll never find fulfillment in a state of well-being.
Yeah.
Because something is robbing you of that. You know, so really, and again, we've touched on this many times, but the only answer to find your light and to find your happiness is to dive deep within yourself and understand the origins of your darkness, the things that are preventing you from a state of well-being.
Yeah. I get it. The only way out is in.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
And that it's so hard for people because the hardest thing they can do is take accountability for their own misery.
Sure.
You know, they're so busy blaming everything else around them as the obstacle.
Yeah.
And it's just, like you said, the only way out is in understanding your own darkness, understanding the things that are preventing you from happiness. It's not.
There has to be that desire to want to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, desperation. Typically,
I know. I think that's what it comes down to is the desperate.
It's not about finding your happiness. It's about understanding the things that make you unhappy. And you strip those away one by one, and you're left with your natural state, sense of well-being, peace, happiness, gratitude, acceptance.
Joy.
Joy.
Yeah, joy falls in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because when I was drinking fairly heavily, I was so sad inside. Yeah. I mean, I was so sad inside and overwhelmed. And I at one point thought that it was not possible to be happy.
Right.
And that's where my mind was at. Right. And like I could even try to look at people being happy at church and I'd be mad at that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that makes...
You know what I mean? I'd be mad at everything that says and shows happiness because I wasn't experiencing it. Like deep down in, I wasn't experiencing it. Like I was living life, but deep down in, I was just... void, man.
I can tell you from experience the one thing that'll make an unhappy person miserable is seeing someone happy. You know, that's...
That sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember seeing people happy and me being broken and me quantifying stuff and analyzing numbers and stuff and just seeing how far away that looked.
Yeah.
Like happiness looked really far away from me.
You know, and you know, the burning question my whole life is, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, that's it.
What is wrong?
I mean, that's one of the most one of the most Googled things in the mental health side too.
Yes, I believe it.
You know, that was it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where I started to get smother myself and then let the stigmas kind of crush it and to think I just couldn't do it.
And how am I ever going to figure out what's wrong with me if I'm constantly blaming everything else around me as the problem?
I know.
It's impossible.
I know. And some of them were problems, you know.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time you look at, well, you have to own what you have to own.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny because as we blame everything around us as the cause, we're trying to fix, manage, and control the outer world to find peace and happiness within our inner world. And that's just simply not how it works. When you find peace and happiness within your inner world, the outer world becomes a much more peaceful, happier place. Yeah. It's our inner worlds. It's our inner worlds that determine how we experience the outer world.
Yeah, we've chatted on that one. I've even put a thing up on my Instagram cover on that.
It's the greatest mystery of life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to think right now of when I first got sober. I can't really pinpoint when I found happiness. I can't really I know right now I'm happy and I found happiness and I understand and there's a level of balance, but I can't pinpoint it because I'm trying to think of what I just said a minute ago where I said, I'm not happy. Why was I not happy? And I felt so far from that. And now I'm trying to think of how we bridge that gap.
You know, for me, my whole life was
an action process, but
My whole life was confusion as to what happiness was. I would get brief moments of satisfaction and believe that was happiness. And satisfaction is fleeting, chasing after your desires. And, it's fleeting. You're seeking pleasure. You're seeking satisfaction. You're seeking, contentment. And it's, they're fleeting shadows. It's... You can't find happiness.
I know, that's it. I was actually reading one of the notes that we wrote here.
Yeah.
It's like unlike the brief pleasure of achieving a goal or acquiring something new, true happiness is sustainable and resilient. It allows you to experience joy even amid difficulties.
Exactly.
Because it's not reliant on external factors.
Exactly.
Ba-boom. That's it. That's it. So let's go into our next little segment here on happiness. We like to bullet point things. So you had me bullet point seeking versus being.
Well, I think we've already touched on that. We're always seeking happiness, and happiness is a state of being.
The state of contentment.
The inner state of well-being, contentment, fulfillment. That's happiness. And we don't find that, like we've said, seeking something in the outer world.
True. I didn't mean to be repetitive on that.
Well, that's okay. It's a point that's worth driving home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely it. I think we get so caught up into the seeking portion of it.
Yeah.
That we forget to be. We do forget to be.
Yeah. And that's where happiness is found.
You completely lose all touch and sight of the present.
Right.
Because the fears and delusions and all those things have completely consumed you, all while trying to manage and maintain responsibilities and relationships. Interesting.
So we're seeking something in the future to make us happy when happiness is only found in the present.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just said you can't find happiness. You said happiness is found in the present.
Happiness is created in the present.
Yes, I'm a fact checker, so I don't know what I am now. That was good. That's really good stuff. There's another thing we can chat on this piece, John. There's so many things that you can do to try and cultivate it.
For me...
Let's talk about the difference of happiness and gratitude.
Yeah, see, that's... That's powerful because, again, we all think that getting what we want in the future will make us happy, right? But if we're not grateful for the things we have now, what makes us think we're going to be grateful or happy for anything we get in the future?
Yeah.
It's a useless endeavor, chasing your own tail, trying to find happiness where it does not exist. It does not exist in the future. It does not exist in accomplishing goals or fulfilling expectations and desires. Happiness is only found in a state of mind in the present. Because that's really all that exists is the present moment. So if you can't find happiness in the present moment, you'll never find happiness.
You're scary when you say that.
Yeah, it's true though, isn't it?
You'll never find
Well, I mean,
find happiness.
It's powerful, man. It's powerful to
I was just kidding.
I know, but to understand these things, I'm passionate about it because you're chasing happiness from a future that doesn't even exist. So
look at that. One of my notes here. Be present.
Yeah.
So that's some other thing. I mean, those are part of being present, practicing gratitude, embracing personal growth and learning. That's a cool one. I like that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, because that. As long as you embrace personal growth and learning, and it's not looked at as a failure,
right.
That's the. I have found a lot of happiness, true happiness and joy, from my growth, for sure. And it's not, I definitely don't look at any of it now as failures. So embracing that as one of our bullet points here. clearly contributing to my happiness.
Right. I mean, if you don't understand the things that disturb you,
Yeah.
how are you ever going to find happiness?
Yeah, you have to understand it.
Because the things that disturb you is what's isolating you from happiness. So if you don't understand the things that disturb you, again, you're a puppet dancing on a string by things that you do not understand.
Right.
You're seeking happiness and the light of happiness when you don't even understand the darkness that's preventing you from obtaining it.
Yeah. Got any final words on finding true happiness?
I mean, for me, just at the risk of sounding repetitive, we all go through life seeking the light. Where can I find my joy, my happiness? And seeking the light isn't the answer. It's seeking and understanding the causes and conditions of your darkness. And and we've touched on this so many times in other episodes. I mean, we've been conditioned to run from our pain and run from our darkness, push it out of our head, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Find something to get me out of this funk, But it's understanding that funk and that darkness and that pain and that, self-pity. Those are the things that prevents us from finding peace and happiness. So until we understand that, we'll never, see how much softer I'm saying it now?
Yeah.
We'll never find our happiness.
You have great awareness.
Yeah, I do get passionate. That's
No, and that's you're good. I joke when at one of the behavioral health centers I speak at, I say it before I speak that I apologize if I get passionate before I speak because I have so much passion towards.
It's hard.
Towards this whole.
It's hard.
Beast.
This whole process is the single most incredible thing I've ever experienced in my life, and if I wasn't passionate about it, it would betray the fact that it wasn't the most amazing thing I've experienced in my life.
I know. So what are some other ways that people can go from, or just give me a few bullet points, or just people can go from a state where they're watching this saying, I know I'm trying to find out, I want to be happy and I can't find this happiness. What are some daily practices that people can do to start doing that? Because I've learned that it's been through action in many ways.
For me personally, again, it was just diving into the darkness. But you had a real good method that you talked about before, and that's gratitude lists.
Yeah.
That's a powerful thing, the way you described it, because as you write down things that you're grateful for, you start running out of things to put down that you're grateful for. And then to find another item on your gratitude list, you have to start changing your perspective and looking at things differently.
Yes, sir.
So that really is the key, is, in my opinion, is to start diving into yourself and challenging what you think, feel, and believe is true. Yeah. Start applying different perspectives, attitudes, and outlooks to these things.
Yeah, your intellect will grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-awareness will grow
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. It's just learn.
Why am I sad? Why can't I be happy? Well, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
I got it.
Man, you're dramatic.
No, I love it. I love it. I can tell you, man, you've been an inspiration in my health journey, and now a friend, and now family. So I just enjoy our conversations. We talk about stuff, and we're actually not even talking too crazy deep right now.
No, this is pretty timid.
Yeah. So no, I'm grateful for that. The gratitude list thing's cool. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was a huge mental shift that I found when I was struggling to find things.
Yeah.
And it was a way of trying to push myself.
That's the key when you start struggling to find things.
Yeah, see? I know. This stuff is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And here's the thing. This is the most amazing part for me, is once you do all that deep inner work and find what's preventing your happiness and your sense of well-being, once you find all these things, you realize that even the things that disturb you you should be grateful for. You know, because even the things that disturb you, if you dive into them, they can lead you to a greater understanding of yourself. And while this may seem crazy, what I'm grateful for most these days are the things that disturb me.
It's amazing.
You know?
It's amazing. So here's my final question. How can we, as people, or as a society, be able to genuinely tell if someone is happy? How, in your opinion, how can we be able to see or tell if someone is truly happy in life? You know, I feel like a lot of these podcasts and shows and stuff pop up after people have killed themselves.
Yeah.
You know, or people have taken their own life. I'm sorry if it sounded a little raw, but...
Well, that's just it, Mike. I mean, no one ever truly knows another man's soul. I mean, human beings are so adept at putting on masks. Robin Williams is a perfect example.
That's exactly who I was thinking about.
Yeah.
When I was coming up with that question, that's the exact human.
Right,
So, yeah, go ahead.
So really, you know, to your own self, you have to be true.
Yeah.
You know, and if
To
you're...
thine own self be true.
Yes. And, you know, and putting on a mask that you're happy and just going through the motions of life, I mean, you're only robbing yourself.
I know. Why do we do it?
Well, because of the stigmas we've talked about.
I know, right?
I'm sad. I'm unhappy.
I always get back to, why did I do that?
And it's a sign of, you know, that's a sign of weakness. Don't let anyone know how you really feel.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just...
Yeah, I got a sheet I want to show you when we're done after we finish recording. I found what we've been looking for.
Yeah.
And I actually recorded an episode on the mental health statistics.
Yes.
And it was a solo one. And I don't know when Kyle and I are going to launch it, but it broke it down by percentages. And those breakdowns were all stigmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
All reasons why they didn't want to get treatment.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the age range from 12 to 17, it's shocking.
Right.
Because they're like, no, I think I can handle it on my own.
And again...
No, I didn't like what people would think. It's why, I mean, I'll show you. It's crazy.
Again, that's how we've been conditioned as a society, you know.
Yeah. I was like that.
Any pain, anything, you know, we've been conditioned to run from our pain. Don't admit it even to yourself. You know, stuff it down deeper.
Yeah,
run from it, hide from it.
Be tough.
Put on a mask of happiness even though you're dying inside. It's madness.
I know. That's the thing. Just go find it and tackle it like you're a competitor.
Right.
Don't like
it. You got to face it first.
You're going to have to face it no matter what.
Yeah.
Seriously, if we really look, if you want what we really have and the true pieces of that,
I can tell you from my own experience that you either face it and dive into it, or it'll get blacker and darker until it consumes you. It has the potential to...
Yeah, it can consume you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it consume you. It can consume you, and it can change a lot of things about you.
Yeah.
Wow, we had this is a good episode.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I think a lot of people are asking these very questions.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. So if anybody has any comments or questions or maybe requests that you want to have for John and I to talk about, or for just any other future episodes or whatnot, I've got a couple weeks of for a final certification coming up here. And that's when we're really going to start to be able to teach and educate on a lot of cool topics. And I'm pretty stoked to bring that out. But if you guys have anything that you want to chime in on or talk about, like, hey, maybe you are struggling finding happiness, or you don't even understand what happiness is, and you want to pursue what gratitude means, what happiness means, what joy looks like, you know, and you want to encounter that and embrace it yourself, feel free to reach out, make comments on that stuff. Let people know that you're looking for that. Because there's some warriors out there in the trenches, man.
Yeah, there is.
There really are, digitally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can find it through action And that happiness is, like I said before, multifaceted forms of treatment. Happiness is multifaceted items within it to create contentment. And then everything flows from that.
Yep.
So with that, any final words?
I think the level of true happiness, is found in the unwavering gratitude of being alive.
Yeah. Yep, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It's easy for you and I to say when you almost.
It is, but, we all focus, and this is just human nature. We focus on the things that disturb us. We focus on the things that make us sad and angry and wallow in self-pity and shame and regret and remorse. And we don't know why.
That's all you got to do is ask why and find out why.
Why?
That's it.
The question isn't why.
The greatest question to ever exist.
Why, the question isn't why can't I find happiness? The question is why am I miserable? Because answering that question is the key to happiness.
We're out.
All right, brother.
Hit like, hit subscribe, check out the website. New content coming soon, more content coming soon. Love y'all. We're out. Okay, you ready to wrap this thing up?
If you like FocalFlip's videos, my dad's videos, go to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and like and subscribe to be updated.
I love it.